going on, Falcon fan? This your boy Ricondo come back at you with another video. So as you can see, we're gonna talk about Mr. Julio Jones going to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on a 1-year deal, and we're gonna talk about a little Falcon news and all the guys showing up today for camp. So guys, if you have not already, go ahead and please subscribe to the channel. Please hit notification bell so you know when I drop another video. Please hit the like button so I know you guys like to hear what I talk about. Then please share my video throughout the YouTube universe so more people can come in here we talk about these Atlanta Falcons. So like I said, guys, I'm pretty sure everybody knows by now. We got breaking news today that Julio Jones, the 10-year receiver for the Atlanta Falcons, has signed with our divisional rivals, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Yes, Tom Brady gets more weapons. I mean, he already had Russell Gage. He already had Chris Godwin. He already had Mike Evans. Now he get Julio Jones. So what else could possibly um, go wrong for the Atlanta Falcons in this instance, right? But we'll just have to see how it turns out for Julio. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna say I like it. I don't. Um, 31 other teams, man. I mean, why go to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? I'd rather see him go back with Matty Ice and Indy before he goes to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tom Brady didn't need any more help. And then just to add to insult, we got to play him twice a year, and he already got all those weapons over there. So, um, I mean, let's be honest. The last couple of years, Julio has been injured. Can he find you know, himself again with Tampa Bay with Tom Brady? We'll have to see. Interesting to see where do he fall in the on the depth chart. I mean, they do have Mike Evans. They do have Chris Godwin out there. Um, Russell Gage. So it's interesting to see how Julio actually gonna fit into the offense. But the rich get richer, right? So, um, like I said, I'm not gonna try to act like I'm excited about this news. Um, Julio, one of my favorite players to ever play with the Atlanta Falcons. Of course, all the things he did. I still go back to that catch that he caught on the sideline against the Tom Brady New England Patriots in Super Bowl where we gave up that, and I thought that catch was was the game. I thought after he caught that ball on the sideline, Matt could put it only where Julio could catch it, and then he made that great catch on the sideline, getting both feet down. I just really thought that was gonna that sealed the game for us. But everybody knows the story about that game, so we won't rehash that. But it's gonna be interesting to see what Julio is gonna be able to do. I'm not gonna say good luck to him because I don't want him to do well. I'm just gonna be honest. Maybe he could do well against all the other teams, but especially when he plays the Atlanta Falcons. I hope um, AJ Terrell, Casey Hayward can actually um, lock him down. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Um, this guy is one of the most explosive guys to ever play the game. We all know this. He had before the last two seasons, he had the most yards per game average in NFL history, almost 100 yards a game. So um, if he just get back to that form, it's going to be scary for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But we'll just have to see what happens. But that's all I have about Julio Jones. Guess we'll see them. I think week 5. Um, I think that's our first game. We'll see those guys. So that's all I had to say about Mr. Julio Jones to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. All right. So in other news, like we said, guys, our team, everybody has showed up today. They did their physicals today. We did hear from a couple of guys today via interview. Guys go out to AtlantaFalcons.com. You can see some of those interviews. I'm just going to touch on some of the points that I felt that was interesting to me, and I'm going to share that with you guys today. We first heard from Cordarrelle Patterson. Um, One thing that I took from that is that he want to make sure he's able to finish the season. He felt like he was nicked up a little bit, and you can tell by that because this is the most usage he had from an offensive snap standpoint in his career. Going into his 10th season this year, he had 205 touches last year from an offensive standpoint. It was to the point where he had to stop returning kicks, which another interesting thing he talked about that he wants to break the kickoff return record. He's tied right now with Josh Cribb and Leon Washington at 8. He wants to break that record to get to the 9 to be the all-time leader in kickoff returns. He actually said he would stop once he break the record. So um, it's gonna be this. That's good to know because I think he one of the most dynamic returners ever played a game. And that's gonna be interesting for Avery Williams. Avery Williams can beat him out, but I can see him doing spot returns every now and then. Um, you think about a kickoff return, and what I think about kickoff return is that we should only be getting one kickoff return a game if we doing like we want to, right? So that's we kick it off at the beginning of the game, they kick it off to the beginning of the game, or at halftime, right? Of course, that's not the case. We know the team's going to score. They're going to put points on the board via field goal or touchdown. So definitely, we're going to see some more kickoff returns. But um, it's going to be interesting to see the battle between him and Avery Williams. I really don't think it's a big battle. I think if Arthur Smith let him go back and actually return kicks, it's his job to have. I also think that the addition from Tyler Algier and Damian Williams is definitely going to help him as well. So he won't get so many touches that he had in the backfield. One other thing that he mentioned that he wants to just get the ball. He loves the way Arthur Smith gets the playmakers the ball. He just want to get. He don't care where he get it at on the slot, reverses in the backfield, playing on the outside as a receiver. He just wanted to be able to get the rock. So I love that about Cordarrelle Patterson. He also mentioned that he actually wants to retire a Falcon. And from a fan standpoint, I love to hear that from players wants to be Atlanta Falcons. That means they're going to give their all. They coming in, and the way they utilized him last year, if we can just get a glimpse of that this year with addition to the other weapons that we have, I think it's going to pan out well for us. The next guy that talked was Christian Lindstrom, our awesome right guard that we have. Mentioned what I liked about him. He's still working to get better. He would say he worked on his positioning and his pass protection. And this is a guy who did not give up a sack last year. So just to hear a guy with that kind of track record in the league so far is still trying to get better, still trying to improve. And one thing he mentioned was his success is tied to the team's success. So if the team's doing well, he feel like he's doing his job. He mentioned the offensive line needs to develop that cohesion that they can develop. I think that's definitely going to be able to help us out this year. He mentioned Caleb McGarry looked good during the offseason. We hope so because he's now in a contract year. Um, he did look like he had gotten in shape this year. He's going to get his first test definitely in the first game of the season against Cameron Jordan. We'll be able to see where Caleb McGarry is at if he's actually going to be the starter at right tackle this year. Of course, he's going up against Jermaine Fetty and Elijah Wilkinson. So we just have to see about that camp battle between those guys. But um, the biggest thing that I like to hear that Chris Lindstrom was talking about was the cohesion that these guys have together as a offensive line that they want to build. Right? He talks about being in the second year in Arthur Smith offense. One interesting thing that is going to be about this offensive line, they're going to be working with mobile quarterbacks this year. Vice working with or Matt Ryan, who stands in the pocket and does not move a whole lot. So that's one of the things that we have to consider and think about when we talk about the offensive line for um, these Atlanta Falcons. We did not mention Jalen Mayfield. He did mention Justin Schaefer, a rookie, he's been giving tips. He said Justin Schaefer's been asking a lot of questions about the offense, about how to line up, how to do positions, things like that. You love to hear that from young guys who's trying to find their way into the NFL, coming into their first training camp. Um, Somebody that definitely could be competing against Jalen Mayfield for that left guard position. So that's another good thing that we heard um, from Chris Lindstrom. The biggest thing that I like that he said that he wanted to be a Falcon um, for for the rest of his career. Right. Of course, they picked up his fifth year option. They haven't started having contract talks yet, but if he keeps continue to play like he's been playing, he's definitely gonna be aligned for a big contract here in the near future. So, and you notice the thing, the first two guys we talked about, they want to be here in Atlanta, and that's what you love to hear. The next guy we talked about was Jalen Hawkins, which could be, and I think he could be the sleeper for us for our defense this year. This young man had some bright spots last year. I think he's going to be first finally get his chance to be a starter this year at safety, either a strong safety or free safety. I love the way Dean P switch those guys up. I think he'll play more strong safety. I think Richard Grant is going to be our free safety. However, Jalen Hawkins showed a lot of potential last year in some of the plays he made. I also love the way he blitzed. He's a good blitzer, especially in a Dean P scheme, Dean P's defense. If you watch last season in the preseason, he came straight up the middle, explosive blitzer, somebody that can definitely be utilized to help to contribute in the pressures that we need. We talked about pressures. We talked about the sacks number we had last year, but we can be able to get pressures and confuse the quarterbacks all over the field. That's definitely going to be a bright spot for us. So um, I can't wait to see what Jalen Hawkins do. And like I said, he could be the sleeper this year for our defense. We know about AJ Terrell, we know about Casey Hayward, we know about Isaiah Oliver, but Jalen Hawkins might be that guy in the safety that can definitely help us. Go back to his college tape and go. He's been in the league a while, but he's a hitter, um, and he's an athlete. So I definitely believe that Jalen Hawkins is definitely gonna make some hay for us this season. He talked about just getting better one day at a time. Um, and the one thing that I like about this whole group of Falcons this year is they all like each other. They all look like they have a chip on their shoulder, and they all believe um, that they got something to prove. Especially with the narrative in the national media about how bad this team is going to be this year. And then the last guy we talked about is Olamide Zaccheaus. Um, I think he's sounding like a veteran. Well, he is the veteran in the room in this offense. Anyway, of course, they have Geronimo Allison, Auden Tate, those guys. Cardell Hodge is here. Of course, Demir Bird, a veteran as well. But Olamide Zaccheaus is the elder statesman for this Atlanta Falcons offense from a wide receiver standpoint. Of course, you know him and Frank Darby is the only receivers left over from the last year team. And Olamide Zaccheaus, he sounds like he's working his game more from a mental standpoint. He's real confident in what he's going to be able to do amongst all the trees, the receivers that's out there. I still think that him, Brian Edwards, and Drake London is definitely a lock to make the team. Um, I also think Demir Bird probably is a lock as well, which leaves two open spots. from my projections from the roster, we just have to see who's the other two guys that they're gonna actually go ahead and bring in to the 53-man roster. But OZ, if you go back to some of the plays he made, he was the big catch guy down the field for us. He had a lot of big third down possessions as well, and he started to be one of Matt Ryan's go-to guys towards the end of the season. So, of course, Matt Ryan's not here anymore. He said he's still building the rapport with our other two quarterbacks that we have. So this going to be training camp is definitely going to be important for our receiver quarterback chemistry to develop and be more. He also talked about Drake London, that he's working with him. Of course, he's still a rookie, he's learning. But guys, we already talked about it. Drake London has to be that dog. Um, he need to get into Kyle Pitts' ear to see what it's take to actually live up to the hype of being the first overall pick in the top 10. So um, that's what we want to see from Drake London. But he's definitely need to be able to, pick the brains of guys like Olumide kids that has been through um, training camp now 3 times. And this guy's like I said, one of the elder statesmen and this Falcon on this Falcons team. So guys, that's all we have for the day. They actually going to start some practice tomorrow. Once again, um, we're going to have to be getting our news from our great Falcon beach writers that's out there. We do have some content creators that are going to be going there as well um, to shed some light on what they see out there at training camp. I will be there at least twice. This week as well. I'm gonna try to go on a Friday, and I'm gonna try to go the next Monday. So I'm definitely gonna bring you guys as much um, what I see from this team. In the first week of training camp. So just stand by, and we'll see what happens. So they started off good. Then we got the breaking news about Julio betraying us, and then end up with these guys reporting and getting ready to roll. Ready to kick it off tomorrow. And so, guys, this is your boy Ricondo. Come back at you with another video. Peace.